Part 131. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1303. Finally, there is the blue pillar of the heavenly god palace. This blue lightning pillar has the same function of burning the divine source as the red flame. In the end, it was also connected to the five-color pillar. It was indeed a section of lightning followed by a section of flame. Finally, the new heavenly god artifact was finally successfully connected and assembled. 3 kinds of lightning and 3 kinds of flames can split and burn the soul, divine source, and divine body respectively. In other words, it can kill the opponent in all directions. Now it is really cool. There are 6 sections on a pillar. The flames and lightning are connected, the fire is burning, and the lightning is fierce. The power of the new heavenly god artifact is definitely not at the same level as the previous single ancient black fire pillar. It can be said that its explosive power now exceeds the 9 dragon chaos god Bel and the flower of origin in terms of pure offensive power. It consists of 6 parts, each of which is also at the level of a heavenly artifact. The 3 heavenly artifacts that Zhang Zizhe obtained are all rare in the world. If you really count them, he may be equivalent to owning 21 heavenly artifacts. In this world, are there any gods who own 21 heavenly artifacts? Maybe except for the Qingyang Taigu god, no one else has them. Zhang Zizhe tried it a little bit, and he didn't need to consume much divine power. When he wielded the new heavenly artifact, it was the most deadly threat to the enemy. This new heavenly artifact supplemented Zhang Zizhe's non-divine soul offensive power, making his attack on 2 levels very terrible, because this new heavenly artifact has almost no defense and is completely born for attack. It is a huge enhancement of the Taigu black fire god pillar. When Zhang Zizhe was in a great mood, the golden color text appeared again on this new heavenly artifact, which still made him laugh and cry. In the dragon sacrifice domain, Zhang Zizhe obtained the heavenly artifact 6 Paths of Thunder Flame God Pillar, which is the evolution of the ancient Black Fire God Pillar. Kill him and you will get it. It can be killed and you will get it again. If Zhang Zizhe can be killed now, there are too many things to get, such as the Crystal Beast Heart, the 6 Paths of Thunder Flame God Pillar, the Flower of Origin, the 2 Realms Talisman. He only knew this new heavenly artifact through this golden position, and its name is 6 Paths of Thunder Flame God Pillar. Now holding the 6 Paths of Thunder Flame God Pillar, his momentum suddenly increased, as if the gods had descended. When he put away the 6 Paths of Thunder Flame God Pillar, the original ancient Black Fire God Pillar on his arm also turned into 6 sections with 6 colors. The process of obtaining the 6 Paths of Thunder Flame God Pillar took a total of half an hour, which was not too long. It is estimated that the God Kings who were rushing here must have seen the news that Zhang Zizhe had obtained another treasure and could be killed and you will get it again. Zhang Zizhe has been in the limelight in the ancient realm, and there are too many people who are still eager to find him. Everyone knows that if they can kill Zhang Zizhe now, they can replace him and get everything he has, even his luck. The most discussed name in the ancient realm today is definitely Zhang Zizhe. In the past 2 years, many names have appeared in the golden text, but so far, Zhang Zizhe has appeared the most. An unknown person, a god, rose against the sky after coming in, and appeared and disappeared mysteriously, which made people astonished. Zhang Zizhe knew that he would still be in danger in the future, but he was strong enough now and had nothing to fear. He had made enough preparations. His heavenly soul could cover most of the sky island at this position. When he just got the 6 thunder and flame pillars, the first group of people had arrived. This was a group of strangers. The 49 god realms were very large, and there were hundreds of forces coming here. It was normal for a god realm to have 2 or 3 forces. The Chaos Demon realm of the Sacrifice Dragon God realm could come, let alone other places. Then, the second and third groups of people arrived one after another. As soon as they arrived here, they must have searched immediately. However, there was nothing here except the blue sun in the sky. As long as Zhang Zizai didn't want them to find him, they would never find him. Zhang Zizai had tried the blue sun before. Even if he was protected by the three great divine artifacts, he had no chance of getting up there, so he didn't waste his time. The Qingyang Taigu god obviously wanted to gather everyone here. He only needed to observe now. Before everyone arrived, the blue sun would probably not change. However, he had a hunch that the decisive battle to decide who would be the first in the 49th festival should be coming soon. He was waiting on the top floor of the Beast God Tower, lying in the starlight. It was a pity that she was not around, and he still missed her. After all, when he was with her, his body and mind were surrounded by her gentleness, which was really comfortable. The days were all soft. Over the next 10 days, the number of people on Sky Island continued to increase, and many familiar people had already arrived here, such as Huang 11 and others from the Sacred Phoenix clan, such as the Time God clan and the Void God clan, such as the Mixed Whole Demon clan and the Galaxy God clan. There were also more than 40 people from the Supreme Dragon clan. To be honest, they were relatively scattered before they came, but once they arrived, they would definitely gather together immediately. For example, the Mixed Whole Demon clan, their people gathered more outside, arriving in batches, and now more than 70 people have gathered, which is the largest force so far. More than 2,000 people came, and basically everyone tried, but no one could get close to the Blue Sunday after trying several times. They basically gave up. More people came next. Nearly 3,000 people arrived. Counting those who have not arrived yet, there must be at most 2,000 people, because many people still died in this ancient realm. Zhang Zizai saw her, and she came too, but this time she was still wearing a veil, walking with Yang Mo and the other 4 people. Now she represented the chaotic demon realm. Zhang Zizai would naturally not bother her again. She could only survive like this due to pressure. She had already given Zhang Zizai the answer, and had already been entangled. Now of course, she should live well first. She was like she had never been here before, and she tried it with Yang Mo and the others, but naturally failed. Zhang Zizai paid attention to her, but did not bother her. Just knowing that she was still alive was the greatest comfort to himself. He was actually waiting for another person. Tianlong Shenwang Zhang Junjian, he came in with him, but after getting the crystal beast heart, he hadn't heard of him for a while. He hadn't heard of anyone who got the crystal beast heart from him. He couldn't be dead, and he was elusive. Among the thousands of coffins and the person in the crystal coffin seen in Zhelanjiayuan, Zhang Zizai wanted to see him more. He should be very perceptive and will come here soon, but so far, Zhang Zizai has not seen him, and he is not with the God Kings of the Supreme Dragon clan. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1304. There are about 50 God Kings of the Supreme Dragon clan now, and some have not arrived yet because they are too far away, but the number is also increasing. In fact, Zhang Zizai is too stunning, which will make the Supreme Dragon clan particularly conspicuous, so they are now relatively low-key, staying quietly, watching the movements of the blue sun in the sky, and discussing in a low voice. The Spirit Fairy God King of the Fairy Dragon clan is a pure and beautiful beauty with a variety of styles. She is also one of the top strong men in the Supreme Dragon clan. There are also the Demon Slayer God King of the Demon Dragon clan, the Enchanting God King of the Demon Dragon clan, and the Holy Luan God King of the Divine Dragon clan. They are all very powerful in the 9th level of the God King realm, and they are also very talented. It is entirely possible that they will become gods in the future. Originally, the gods of the Supreme Dragon clan were counting on them, but they have not achieved anything in the ancient realm so far. Instead, Zhang Junjian and Zhang Ziyi, who no one pays attention to, have become popular, and even the Huanmeng God King of the Chaos Demon realm has become popular. Speaking of which, this is still a little bit aggrieved. However, At least in the first of the 49 sacrifices, the sacrifice dragon divine realm has seized the initiative. For the time being, they can only count on Zhang Zizai and Zhang Junjian who have the crystal beast heart, but what makes them helpless is that so far, these two have not appeared. Zhang Junjian doesn't know, but Zhang Zizai is the one who opened this Jingyang sacrifice. He should be on this sky island. He can't find us, so he didn't gather with us. The Holy Luan God King of the Divine Dragon Clan came to the Guanzhou God King to ask. We don't know too much, but he has too many treasures on him. It's inevitable that he will be exposed when he comes to us. If he can hide well by himself, there is no problem, Guanzhou God King said. That's right. I'm afraid he won't hide well and lose the good situation. After all, now that everyone is here, there are so many people and it's inevitable that something might go wrong, the enchanting God King of the Demon Dragon Clan said in a slightly weird tone. Don't worry about that. I witnessed it last time. He is very scary now. Zhao Wuxian of the Mixed Cave Demon Clan, Huang 11 of the Sacred Phoenix Clan, and Lu Shizhen of the Time God Clan, all three of them combined are no match for him, Guanzhou God King said. When he came in, he was only at the God Sovereign Realm, and he defeated Yin Zijun of the Galaxy God Realm. The rumors are so mysterious. Did you really see it with your own eyes? The Spirit Fairy God King of the Fairy Dragon Clan asked in disbelief. The God of Glory smiled and said, I didn't see the battlefield with my own eyes, but Zhao Wuxian and the others were indeed scared. And they said that he was not in the state of reincarnation. He got too many heavenly artifacts, which increased his strength, but it is undeniable that he may have broken through to the 5th level of the God King. From the God King to the 5th level of the God King, and in just over 2 years, it is really terrible. It can be said to be against the sky, no one can compare. However, the 5th level is still not high after all. With the help of external objects such as heavenly artifacts, there will inevitably be flaws, so expectations for Zhang Zizai should not be too high, for fear that he is too young and too arrogant, and underestimates his opponents. You know, now they want to kill him and replace him, so if you see him, you should still warn him, the Demon Slayer God of the Demon Dragon Clan said lightly. That makes sense. After all, realm is the foundation. Guanzhou God King didn't argue with them at all. Whatever they said was what they meant. He had no conflict with Zhang Zizai, and because of Zhang Zizai's existence, their Bright Dragon Clan had the foundation to continue. Of course, he hoped that Zhang Zizai would become a god in the end. Regardless of whether he was involved with the Bright Dragon Clan, as long as he became the Bright Dragon Lord, the Bright Dragon Clan would at least not disband. They didn't wait for Zhang Zizai and Zhang Junjian. Instead, at this time, a group of people from the west came towards them. They were so many that they soon arrived in front of them, and almost all looked at them coldly. It was the Hundong Demon Clan. Supreme Dragon Clan, how are you? Wuxian God King Zhao Wuxian walked out of the crowd, staring at them, his eyes searching for someone in the crowd. What's wrong? Although there were fewer people, Shengluan God King was not afraid. He looked at Zhao Wuxian coldly. Beside Zhao Wuxian, there were several young but very top-level God Kings, all of whom were the top God Kings of the Hundong Demon Clan. Where is Zhang Zizai? Let's go find him, Zhao Wuxian said. He has so many treasures on him, so he won't be with us. Besides, even if he is here, what can you do? Aren't you afraid of being beaten? As one of the representatives of the Holy Dragon Heavenly Clan, the God King Guanzhou is also qualified to speak. It's different now. Now we have more people in the Mixed Cave Demon Clan. This is Zhao Wuxian's capital. Once a fight starts, the advantage of numbers will still be brought into play. These two are the God King Wuking and the God King Wufa, right? The three guys in your Mixed Cave Demon Clan who are called Supreme God Kings are all here, but even Zhang Zizai is not, and he looks just like this, the coquettish God King sneered. Beside Zhao Wuxian, there are indeed two people who seem to have the same status as him. On the left is a woman in black gauze, with a very hot body, protruding front and back, looming skin, and a lot of demonic shadows, and on the right is a man who is several times more burly than Zhao Wuxian, with a bald head and black eyes, a rough breath, a huge body, and a body like a rock. They are the three strongest god kings of the Hundong demon clan, and they are also very talented. They are the reserve army of the Hundong demon clan's gods. They are completely different from those god kings who are approaching their death or middle-aged. In comparison, except for the spiritual immortal god king, the others are slightly older than the three of the Hundong demon clan. Of course, the confrontation in strength is not certain. The words of the enchanting god king did provoke the Hundong demon clan. They looked at each other, and then the woman, the ruthless god king, said, "It seems that you will not cry until you see the coffin? Zhang Zizai has repeatedly provoked our Hundong demon clan and killed my people. If you don't hand him over, you may have to pay with a few lives." They seem serious. The Supreme Dragon clan didn't know what the Hundong demon emperor had ordered them to come in and kill the Supreme Dragon clan who was alone. Unfortunately, so far, few of them have succeeded. Now they have nearly 30 more people. If there is a melee, they will definitely be able to gain an advantage. Even if they don't gain much, as long as they take a few lives, they may be able to force Zhang Zizai to find them. They don't know what the relationship between Zhang Zizai and the Supreme Dragon clan is. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1305. Originally, they had just shouted a few times, but they didn't expect the other party to really provoke them. They had the advantage of numbers, which really made the Supreme Dragon clan very afraid. Their people were almost all here, but there were still many people on the Supreme Dragon clan who hadn't arrived. Is this interesting? The spiritual immortal god king was a little annoyed. Of course it's interesting. My brother Zhao Wuxian was killed by Zhang Zizai. Since he's not here, your people have to pay for his life. Zhao Wuxian greeted everyone and was ready to move. There were many 9th level god kings on their side, and it wasn't just the three of them who had combat power. When there were many people, the power of an individual was ultimately insignificant. To be honest, the conflict between them had attracted a lot of onlookers, but the Hundong demon clan didn't seem to be worried at all and was still aggressive. If that's the case, then don't talk nonsense. We Supreme Dragon clan are not afraid of death. Even if you are a bunch of cowards who rely on your numbers to provoke us, what's there to be afraid of? Just take action, the Demon Slayer God King shouted loudly. He has a bad temper. How can he tolerate such a provocation? Although some people in the team think it is unnecessary, face is not something that can be explained whether it is necessary or not. The other party has come to bully. If he is scared at this time, it will be laughed at. After all, the Supreme Dragon clan has been laughed at for disrupting the demon realm. As a traditional clan, this is unbearable. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow diamondsuit. Go. The onlookers did not expect that the Chaos Demon clan really wanted to show off their power to the Supreme Dragon clan. A total of more than 80 people attacked together. Such a huge injury can be said to be a battle. Their fight here may also trigger a real war between the two divine realms outside in the future. Now many people know that the dark demon of the Chaos Demon realm is actually the younger brother of the Chaos Demon Emperor. It seems that in the dispute between the Supreme Dragon clan and the Chaos Demon realm, the Chaos Demon Emperor may want to take advantage of the situation. However, this battle that gave the Supreme Dragon clan a headache did not start in the end. Once the fight started, the Supreme Dragon clan would definitely suffer. Now it has attracted many people to come and watch, waiting for them to lose both. Just when they were planning to fight to the death, a young man in black appeared in the sky. He slowly landed. Now there were too many people who knew him. His appearance directly made the scene boil. Everyone looked at him with fiery eyes. Most people here had never seen him take action, so the desire in their eyes was clearly written. The person who came was Zhang Zizai. He didn't want to deal with it at first, but the Chaos Demon clan was indeed too arrogant, especially Zhao Wuxian. He was abused by him so much at the beginning, and he dared to be so bold at this time. He really deserved a beating. There are still many people gathering here, and the blue sun has not changed. It is the time when the dark tide is surging. If they, the Hundong Demon clan, make such a commotion, it will undoubtedly put themselves in the spotlight. Many people are watching in secret, ready to make a move. There are too many people who want to kill Zhang Zizai, not just Zhao Wuxian and his people. When he appeared, the Hundong Demon clan stopped first. The real lord was finally forced out, and the goal was achieved. Unexpectedly, Zhang Zizai didn't pay much attention to them, but landed in front of the God Kings of the Supreme Dragon clan and asked, "Have you seen the Heavenly Dragon God King? Do you know his whereabouts? There are already more than half of the God Kings of the Supreme Dragon clan here. According to reason, someone should have seen him, but no one answered when Zhang Zizai asked. Zhang Zizai, you have a chance to hide, why did you come out? Don't you know that everyone is watching you?" the Holy Luan God King said seriously. "Yes, we are not afraid of the provocation of this bunch of rubbish, but you are so exposed. Do you know how many people are around you now, eyeing you covetously?" said the charming God King. Zhang Zizai smiled and shook his head and said, "Thank you for your concern, elders, but there is nothing to be afraid of with these people." His ease and calmness made many people frown. As they imagined, Zhang Zizai was a little bit arrogant. This is a very dangerous sign. Once arrogant, it is equivalent to giving others an opportunity. Before they could teach him a lesson, Zhang Zizai turned around and looked at Zhao Wuxian. His eyes were like a mirror, full of terrible threats. Zhao Wuxian had let him control him directly at the beginning, but now he was of course particularly afraid and did not dare to look at Zhang Zizai. "You guys also want to find me, so I'll give you a chance. 3 of you come together. If you can't kill me, crawl away," Zhang Zizai said. 3 of them together? Guanzhou God King, this guy. Lingxian God King had a headache. She thought Zhang Zizai was really too young. Now that he had received many benefits, he was a little arrogant. Zhang Zizai, they know some ways to cooperate. The 3 of them joined forces and even resisted the gods. "You must not." Before he finished speaking, Zhang Zizai smiled and waved his hand, indicating that he didn't need to say more, and he knew what he was doing. On the other hand, Zhao Wuxian and his team were naturally ecstatic after receiving Zhang Zizai's letter of challenge, but they still looked very calm on the surface. They knew that Zhang Zizai was very difficult to deal with, and they certainly didn't dare to do it alone. As for the method of 3 people surrounding and killing Zhang Zizai, they had practiced it countless times. "Since you want to die, you can't blame us," the tall and burly Wufa God King said in a deep voice. "Stop talking so much nonsense. I'm not just dealing with you. Now the gods of Sky Island are here to watch. Today, I'll show you that although I have a lot of treasures, not everyone can kill me." Zhang Zizai smiled. The number of people watching has indeed increased, but after hearing that Zhang Zizai appeared, the gods of the entire Sky Island quickly gathered here to watch the confrontation between the 2 major gods. He was not just to deal with the 3 of them, but to give everyone a warning, so that if they covet the treasures on him, they would have to see if they were prepared to die. Zhao Wuxian and the other 3 seized this opportunity. They looked at each other and came up with the same idea, which was, go. Not only did they attack, but they also valued Zhang Zizai very much and turned into totem beasts to fight directly. For example, Xuanhuan turned into the totem of the eternal holy lion demon god. The huge eternal holy lion demon god roared with a vast prestige, majestic momentum, and murderous aura. On his right, the burly and tall god of no power suddenly transformed into a giant elephant in human form. His body was twice as big as the lion demon god, with a human body and an elephant head. It was huge and boundless, and his flesh and blood were extremely magnificent and huge, and his power was simply explosive. On his left, the enchanting god of no mercy transformed into an eagle demon god with an eagle head and a human body, with wings on his back. The eagle demon god had steel feathers all over his body, and his sharp edges were exposed. He flew up to the sky, as fast as lightning, and rolled up waves of storms. The lion demon god, the elephant demon god and the eagle demon god, the three demon gods gathered together, surrounded Zhang Zizai, and suddenly launched a life and death attack. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1306. They are lawless and ruthless. They are known as the three supreme god kings in the Hundong demon clan. They are the supreme among the god kings of the Hundong demon clan. The rise of the three of them is at the legendary level. The three of them are also the future of the Hundong demon clan. The gods hope that some people even predict that not long after, the three of them will become gods and supplement the position of gods in the Hundong demon realm. When the three of them need to besiege a person, people only think that this person may be a real god, not a guy who was just a god 2 years ago. A little-known young man in his 20s, the three of them were relatively young among the god kings, but Zhang Zizai couldn't even compare to a fraction of them. If they are legends, then Zhang Zizai is now a legend among legends. In particular, he only started practicing at the age of 15, and was not an ancient god at birth, so his real training time was only about 10 years. To create a top-level god king in 10 years is an unprecedented miracle in the 49 god realms. It's just that people don't have time to think about the meaning at this time, because the battle breaks out directly, which is enough for people to focus entirely on the battle. Sky Island is a small place. When these three totem beasts are all, the god king who covers the sky and the sun shows the body of a totem beast, which is undoubtedly very conspicuous. As long as the god kings under the blue sun gather here in the blink of an eye. More than 2,000 god kings either appeared directly or hid in the dark, staring at the four people fighting with cold eyes. It is rumored that Zhang Zizai defeated Huang 11, Zhao Wuxian and Lu Shizhan teamed up. I heard it's a special situation. But now, it is a real siege, and the three Hundong demon realm team up. They have the means to cooperate, which is much better than Zhao Wuxian, Huang 11, and Lu Shizhan joining forces. After all, I heard that they were also competing with each other at the time. I understand. But no matter what, the fact that this young man can reach such a level and have such courage is unbelievable. Although I say this, being too conspicuous is not necessarily a good thing. How many geniuses have died in the past, at least before they became gods, they are uncertain. If they die, there will be nothing. In these 49 sacrifices, who can have the last laugh? Not necessarily yet. Many low-pitched discussions emerged from the mouths of people around him. Facing the siege of the three of them, Zhang Zizai did not feel the slightest nervousness or fear. At this time, the lion demon god was holding the ancient split domain sword. This is a god king level totem weapon. No matter how top-notch it is, Zhang Zizai didn't take it seriously. In the hands of the elephant demon god and god king, there is an ancient sky-cutting sword, which is of the same series as the ancient realm-splitting sword. That huge heavy sword can break continents and divide oceans. In the hands of the ruthless god king, the eagle demon god, there is the ancient soul-piercing gun, which is also a divine soul attack method. The weapons of these three god kings come from the same series. When the three are combined together, they form an ancient killing array. It is said that it has equivalent to the lethality of a divine weapon. Of course, Their most powerful advantages are their divine source and divine body. The three of them are all 9th level existences of the God King. Their divine source is far more powerful than Zhangzaize, and their divine body is extremely powerful. Once it breaks out, the power will be overwhelming. The totem power of the elephant demon god is somewhat similar to the Chaos Earth Bell. It directly makes Zhang Ziyi feel as if he is suppressing a mountain. It is extremely heavy. The eagle demon god has terrifying speed. She flies in the wind, disappears, and the ancient soul-piercing gun instantly in a short time, it can penetrate the soul and take away the life. Unfortunately, when she met Zhang Ziyi, she was useless. When they took action, Zhang Ziyi took action. Facing these three opponents whose realm and divine source completely surpassed his own, he did not even change the totem beast, because his current divine soul and divine weapon were already so powerful. There is almost no difference between the 5 times Holy Dragon Celestial Body and the 10 times Holy Dragon Celestial Body. The 3 heavenly artifacts were directly sacrificed, and the defensive part instantly armed Zhang Ziyi to the teeth. Whether it was the defense of the divine body or the defense of the divine soul, they were both at the level of a god. The divine soul under the protection of the Chaos Soul Bell, the ancient transmigration, the soul gun immediately lost its effectiveness and could not penetrate at all. What impact would it have on Zhang Ziyi? The divine body defense composed of the Chaos Water Clock, the Chaos Golden Bell, the Chaos Wooden Clock, the Fountain of Youth, and the Heavenly Dragon armor cannot be penetrated by the power of the gods. With these heavenly artifacts protecting the body, Zhang Ziyi is almost invincible. On the ground, as long as he is not completely crushed, he has no worries at all. He only needs to fight. Otherwise, if he stands and lets them fight, he may not be able to fight. In the words of 9 Immortals, although his level of divine source is low now, his equipment is too good. Of course, being able to obtain these equipment is also part of the strength. Being able to withstand the opponent's attack is one thing, but on the other hand, you still need to take the initiative to attack. When the Chaos Soul Bell's Requiem begins to play, not only are the 3 Supreme God Kings who are well prepared directly affected, even the onlookers, many of them fell into the vortex of the Chaos Soul Clock. They were devastated, sad and painful, seriously lost their minds, suffered from pain and confusion, and lost the desire to survive and fight. The 3 of them knew that Zhang Ziyi was terrible in this aspect, so they were especially on guard. However, some powers could not be defended without being prepared. Zhao Wuxian had been controlled once before, so he borrowed a lot of Divine King level totem weapons for Divine Soul defense. He thought he could at least block it, but when the Chaos Soul Bell rang, he knew it was bad. Magic Eyes, Soul Capturing Mirrors. The 2 parts of the Flower of Origin, in conjunction with the Chaos Soul Bell, locked onto Zhao Wuxian again. In fact, what Zhao Wuxian didn't know was that he had been controlled by the Soul Mirror once, which was equivalent to leaving a mark. For the soul that controls chaos, the Soul Mirror will leave a seed. The second time he controlled, even if he had too many soul defenses, under the enchantment of the Requiem and the Fantasy Eye, his eyes turned blood red almost in an instant. In the sound of his roar, people saw that the God King Wuxian turned his back on the battlefield and began to attack the elephant demon god. Wuxian! Wake up, the elephant demon god roared. He didn't expect his voice to be so explosive. The roar was deafening, and the entire Sky Island was shaking. However, even if his voice was so loud, Zhao Wuxian didn't wake up. He could only make him stare at the elephant demon god like a beast under attack, and then launch a desperate attack to directly force the elephant demon god back. After Zhao Wuxian was controlled by the Soul Capture Eye, Zhang Ziyi's 6 paths Thunder Flame Pillar finally appeared in front of people's eyes. This was a 6-fold enhancement of the ancient Black Fire Pillar, or even more than that. For a moment, lightning and flames intertwined, and terrifying power began to sweep. Moreover, the broken world light of the Flower of Origin had been attached to it, enhancing the lethality of the Six Paths Thunder Flame Pillar. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1307. Zhangzai held the six thunder flame pillars and stared at the swift and flashing eagle demon god. When the chaos thunder bell on his body appeared, his speed was also as fast as lightning. Although he did not surpass his opponent, he was able to tie with his opponent. Wuking, you attack him and make him unable to control Wushan, the elephant demon god shouted hurriedly. He was now extremely embarrassed by Zhao Wushan's attack. Zhao Wushan was completely going to kill him. Well, Wuking God King could only kill him. If she let Zhangzai chase her again, it would be even more embarrassing. Die. When it comes to ruthless killing, she is famous. Countless people have died in her hands over the years. It is rumored that she is charming and murderous. Her wings fluttered, as fast as the wind, like an eagle in the sky. In her eyes, Zhangzai is just a chick. What she is good at is to shoot through the soul in an instant. At this moment, the chick in her eyes suddenly accelerated, and the six thunder and flame pillars in her hand, plus the power of the broken world light, directly shot up into the sky. In an instant, the two clashed once. Bang! In front of the eagle demon god, Zhangzai's body seemed so small, but the terrible thing was that in this confrontation, he relied on the six thunder and flame pillars to directly shatter the ancient soul-piercing spear. The three kinds of flames and three kinds of lightning, plus the power of the broken world light, rushed directly to the body of the eagle demon god, and suddenly erupted at this moment. Her divine body, divine source, and divine soul were completely in terrible torture, and were directly burned into a human form, and then even the human form was screaming, torn apart by the broken world light, and in an instant, the body was destroyed. Eagle demon god, died in battle. Zhangzai was not joking. He wanted to show everyone that whoever coveted his treasure, whoever wanted to kill him, and whoever had the same idea as the three of them should be prepared for such a fate. If he didn't do so, there would be many people who would cause him trouble in the future. It had nothing to do with morality. It was just that they wanted to kill people for treasures, and Zhangzai killed them in return. And this was just the beginning. Ruthless. Ruthless God King. Seeing that the ruthless God King didn't even make a sound, Zhangzai killed him and his body was completely destroyed. The God King was already trembling, and the huge body of the elephant demon god didn't look so violent anymore. On the side of the Hundong demon clan, the heroes were angry, but unfortunately no one took action for a while, and there was also the Supreme Dragon clan blocking them. It was originally a battle, and it seemed difficult to intervene at this time. Anyway, the Supreme Dragon clan was well prepared and would not let them take action. Of course, here in the Supreme Dragon clan, when this battle reaches this point, the final result will not be biased. Zhangzai will definitely win a great victory, and it will shock the heroes. After this, anyone who wants to kill him and take the treasure will have to think carefully. Everything is not over yet, maybe there will be changes. When people were sluggish, Zhangzai did not stop at all, and came directly to the side of the elephant demon god. The six thunder and flame pillars in his hand spewed out flames, lightning roared, and the light of the broken world was still wandering in the invisible. I admit defeat, let us go. Zhangzai. We, the Hundong demon clan, will not argue with you. The elephant demon god could not care about his face, so he could only bow his head and beg for mercy. But what responded to him was Zhangzai's cold attack. Zhangzai, you dare to kill my Hundong demon clan in public. After the 49 sacrifices, we, the Hundong demon clan, will certainly launch a massive attack on your dragon sacrifice domain. Let your Supreme Dragon clan suffer internal and external troubles. I will not stop until you are destroyed. When Zhangzai rushed forward, the God King Wufa roared fiercely. I'm so scared. Zhang Zizai smiled coldly, and at this time he directly let Zhao Wuxian take the lead, pressing the elephant demon god to the point of being unable to breathe. In the flash of lightning, his 6 thunder flames were already behind the elephant demon god, hitting him directly. In the continuous burning of the terrifying flames and the explosion of thunder and lightning, the elephant demon god was screaming, and his body and soul were also destroyed. The shattering world light even tore his huge flesh and blood body to pieces and burned it to ashes. The god king Wufa died in battle. Zhang Zizai didn't give them any time to react. At this time, the Hundong demon clan had gone crazy and wanted to attack as a group, but they were intercepted by the Supreme Dragon clan, who reacted. In fact, they didn't have much courage to suppress Zhang Zizai. The current Zhang Zizai was enough to scare them. Wuxian, you commit suicide to apologize. Zhang Zizai's voice was cold and ruthless, but he sentenced Wuxian God King to death. In full view of the public, Wuxian God King self-destructed his soul and beheaded himself. When his body fell in the air and hit the ground, the entire Hundong demon clan was completely silent. All of them looked pale, frightened, and retreated a few steps, watching all this dully and miserably. The worst was the god king Wutan. He didn't even know the outcome of the battle. He was controlled from beginning to end, and finally he committed suicide. The supreme god king of the Hundong demon clan was killed by Zhang Zizai in such a humiliating way. This was the most terrifying thing. Almost all the god kings of the 9th level present were terrified, because they knew that even if they went up, they might not even be able to touch Zhang Zizai and would just kill themselves. When the 3 god kings died in battle, the entire Sky Island fell into silence. Even the Hun Cave demon clan no longer had the courage to fight. These 3 god kings died in battle, plus Zhang Zizai was strong, and there were so many more. The leader of the Supreme Dragon clan is dead. Now the dragons are leaderless and there is no one to resist. Moreover, Zhang Zizai was also looking at them at this time. He stepped forward and said word by word, "Who else wants to die? You can go directly, let me see if any of you can touch me." Indeed, the 3 lawless and ruthless god kings almost died in battle without even touching a single hair of Zhang Zizai. This was already the strongest member of their Hundong demon clan, and the hope of the future god king. Now it's all a handful of lowes. The powerful Hundong demon clan was completely mute at this moment, and was so frightened that they couldn't utter a word. Only after a long time did someone say with deep regret, "Zhang Zizai, you are cruel, you are really powerful today. But this hatred has been completely forged. After the 49 sacrifices, your entire Supreme Dragon clan will be ready to die. We will join forces with the Chaos Demon Realm to crush your sacrifice Dragon God Realm. I believe that if you are interested in joining, there will be many people who will kill you. Today's shame will be repaid by you thousands of times. You are welcome to come and die at any time," Zhang Zizai said with a smile. Under his divine power, the frightened and ashamed Hundong demon clan could only find excuses to leave in despair. They had lost face and now had no leader, so they had no choice but to retreat first. They left, but the shock caused by Zhang Zizai still didn't disappear. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1308. He looked back and saw that the spiritual immortal God King, the charming God King, the holy Luan God King, the demon slayer God King, etc. were all staring at him blankly. They were speechless. Previously, they pointed at Zhang Zizai as elders, but now they all shut their mouths and could only look at Zhang Zizai with an awkward smile. The more they smiled, the more embarrassed they felt. After all, they didn't know what to say. At this moment, they felt like they were dreaming. Defeating them is one thing, but killing them is the real courage. This is something they dare not do or think about, but a young man in his 20s did it. How terrifying is this? Anyway, now, those who were ready to move when they saw Zhang Zizai's appearance have lowered their heads and dare not say or think too much. In the past year, many people have obtained the fortune of the heavenly god level, but they are a little worse than Zhang Zizai. His current strength is at least in the top 3 of the entire ancient realm. There may be only 1 or 2 people who can really limit him. The 3 heavenly artifacts are too terrifying. Even if his realm is not high, he is still more than enough to suppress the God King. Only those who have heavenly artifacts or heavenly god totems can compete with him. Who dares to say that such a person wants to take away the treasures on him? The key is that he is only in his 20s, only in his 20s. What exactly does this mean? Many people can't figure it out, and they can only have a splitting headache. Many people dispersed because they knew that it was no longer meaningful to surround Zhang Zizai. Only the Supreme Dragon clan was still surrounding Zhang Zizai. The Glory God King looked at him and felt a little like a world away. The gods haven't had time to train him to be a loyal member of the Supreme Dragon clan yet. They never expected that at this time, he is almost invincible among the God Kings. After 2 years, he will probably make progress. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. He thought to himself. And the news now can't be spread at all, otherwise, there might be some preparations outside. Now, there is no news. He tried to talk to Zhang Zizai for a few words, and found that his temperament was still the same as before. He naturally didn't have any good feelings for those who looked down on him, but if it was someone around him, he would still be very polite. We really haven't seen the heavenly dragon god king. I really don't know where he went. They discussed it again. Now there are several more god kings coming, but almost none of them have seen him. Don't worry, I'll go ask the others. There are already 2,000 or 3,000 people gathered here. I don't believe that no one has seen him, Guanzhou God King said. Sorry for the trouble. I'll leave first. If you have anything, just call me directly, Zhang Zizai said. Can you hear me when I call you? God King Guanzhou reacted. He was a person with the soul of the sky god. He knew who was doing what on the sky island. Okay. After Zhang Zizai left, God King Xuanhuan suddenly called him, and God King Guanzhou and the 4 of them gathered together. Guanzhou, he is a little too scary, God King Xuanhuan said. What do you mean? I am worried that the gods have not made him feel a sense of belonging, and he has become as powerful as the gods. After all, he has a relationship with the immortal venerable. He holds the treasure of our supreme dragon clan. If the immortal venerable values his talent and uses beauty to seduce him, he should surrender. Then he will join the immortal venerable's camp and become our enemy. After all, his daughter is on the immortal venerable's side. If he can grow up, I don't believe that the immortal venerable will look down on him as before. A woman like the immortal venerable, and he has had her before, if he is given another chance, I don't believe he won't go there. On the contrary, we have no attraction to him at all, God King Lingxian said. That's right. If it were me, I would choose the immortal venerable. Such a proud and powerful woman, and his former wife, and his daughter are all there. How could Zhang Zizai give up on them? He was too weak before and was despised by the immortal venerable, but now the Chaos Demon realm is in need of talents. As long as the immortal venerable is not stupid, he will look at him with new eyes, the Demon Slayer God King said. It shouldn't be. When the immortal dragon emperor took him to the Chaos Demon realm before, he said that he had completely severed his relationship with the immortal venerable. The immortal venerable hurt him too much that time. In fact, I think he is holding back a grudge and wants to deal with the immortal venerable to win his dignity, the Glory God King said. I don't think it's possible. The immortal venerable is a 1,000-year-old fox. If he gives a little sweetness to such a child, he will not be angry. How much resentment can he have? The spirit immortal God King said. Anyway, we absolutely cannot do this. Even if we kill him, we cannot let him serve the immortal venerable. No matter what the result of this 49th sacrifice is, after it is over, we must inform the heavenly god Zhangzizai as soon as possible and let them make a decision as soon as possible. If Zhangzizai turns against the immortal venerable, maybe one day he will use the 9-dragon chaos divine bell to kill our supreme dragon clan. His talent is much more terrifying than the immortal venerable, right, said the holy Luan god king. Yes, the radiant god king could only nod. This was really no small matter. In fact, he had a chance to get the first place in the 49th sacrifice. Didn't he get the first place and kill the immortal venerable? If he got the first place, it would depend on whether he could make a wish to kill the immortal venerable. If not, that would explain the problem, said the enchanting god king. The light god king said with a headache, "You don't know about this matter." At that time, King Mulongzun just wanted him to come here for training. He didn't give him this task at all. At that time, Zhangzizai came here completely to help the little girl named Longyan get rid of the reincarnation calamity. King Mulongzun also promised him that if he could really get the first place, he could just make his own wish. After all, King Mulongzun never thought that he would be able to have today. Is it like this? King Mulongzun is just joking. Anyway, we will see when the time comes. He just has a chance. If there is really this opportunity, we will be responsible for persuading him. By then, we can see his reaction and infer whether he is our man or the immortal lord's man. By the way, with such a big commotion, the 5 people from the Chaos Demon realm should have come up, right, said the enchanting god king. They must know about Zhangzizai's changes. When they pass it back, they will let the immortal lord know about Zhangzizai's changes. If we can kill these 5 people here and make the Chaos Demon realm lose its source of information temporarily, then our gods will have some time to make decisions. This is actually very important. Even if we don't consider this, we have to kill the people in the Chaos Demon realm. If we let them jump around here, where will our face be? The Demon Slayer God King sneered. Okay, now tell everyone to find their whereabouts. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1309. In a short period of time, the Supreme Dragons, who had no way to deal with the Blue Sun, changed their goals. They also had some friends and informants. It was not a big trouble to inquire about Zhang Junjian and the few people in the Chaos Demon realm on this small sky island. But King Guanzhou forgot one thing. Zhangzizai had the soul of the heavenly god. Even if they spoke in a low voice and even protected themselves with a totem formation, how could they not attract Zhangzizai's attention when they were sneaky? So, he heard all their conversations without missing a word. In this regard, Zhangzizai could only smile. People think about themselves and their relatives and friends. This is understandable. The mistake was his background and his experience with the immortal venerable. They didn't believe Zhangzizai, and Zhangzizai couldn't believe them. As for their intention to kill the magical god king and his men, Zhangzizai would naturally not let them find them. He knew where the 5 people in the Chaos Demon realm were. They were all quite alert and basically hid themselves. They did not contact anyone, so there would be no risk for the time being, unless they were bold enough to wander around. As long as they were exposed to people's vision, they would basically be discovered. In the next half-month, Zhangzizai took a look and found that there were already about 4,000 people on the Sky Island. Even among the Supreme Dragon Clan, 83 of the original 100 people had arrived, and with Zhangzizai, there were 84 people. There were still 16 people who had lost their whereabouts, including Zhang Junjian. Most of them were likely to have died here, and it was probably the Chaos Demon clan that did it, but it happened in a corner that no one knew about. Normally, 30% of the people died in the 49th sacrifice, and now there were 84 people, which was already good. However, there were still more than 2 years, and it was not certain who would live and who would die in the future. Zhang Zizai was thinking about a problem. With my performance, apart from our past relationship, would the immortal venerable really love me and accept me? He didn't think so, because the immortal venerable seemed to regard him as a stain. Why did Yimen exist? In fact, there were many secrets that he couldn't figure out. He felt that things would not be that simple. If there was no trace of the 9 immortals in the life of the immortal venerable, then she would be completely equivalent to another woman, and Zhang Zizai would not be moved by her at all. Just as he was thinking about it, when almost everyone gathered on the Sky Island, almost all of a sudden, the blue sun on the Sky Island suddenly changed. Zhang Zizai quickly came out and gathered with more than 80 people of the Supreme Dragon clan. Basically, everyone gathered under the blue sun at this time, but some were in the light and some were in the dark. In the past half-month, the Supreme Dragon clan did not find the 5 people in the Chaos Demon realm, and they did not find them for the time being. The change of the blue sun was more important. In the sky, the flame of the blue sun was still burning, but the noise was much louder, as if a giant beast was trapped in it, and now the giant beast was struggling in it, as if it was about to break free from the blue sun at any time. At this time, there were about 4,000 people present. Zhang Zizai had a divine soul, so he could basically see at a glance which opponents among these 4,000 people were and which ones were threatening him. He was particularly clear. First of all, there was the Xuanhuan god king of the Chaos Demon realm, also known as the Juxian. She had been re-existing as a dream during this period. Her heavenly god Totem, the Teishu Xuanhai, was actually very strong. Zhang Zizai just happened to suppress her last time, but it was not necessarily the case for others. She was also very scary in terms of threats, and was definitely in the top 5, or even higher. A total of 8 people got the Crystal Beast Heart, and the Xuanhuan God King was one of them. These 8 people were almost the 8 strongest people in the Teiku realm at present. Zhao Wuxian and Huang 11 had already been pulled down and were not at this level. Zhang Zizai and Zhang Junjian both have Crystal Beast Hearts, and together with the Dream God King, they have 3. The Void God King Kong Kong also got the Crystal Beast Heart, and in the previous year, he got good fortune again with the Crystal Beast Heart. From the reminder of the golden text, he got the heavenly artifact Kin Kin Ding. After getting the heavenly artifact, his combat power rose sharply. Zhang Zizai saw the careless young man. Compared with the first meeting, he has indeed undergone a great transformation and is not as easy to deal with as before. In addition, he also saw the silent god King Lu Shizhen of the Time God realm. He was defeated by Zhang Zizai. After the failure of Zilongjia Yuan, he turned out to be a blessing in disguise and also got the Crystal Beast Heart. In the first 3 months, Zhang Zizai also saw from the golden text that he got the heavenly artifact Reverse Chaos Clock, and also had better fortune. Now Lu Shizhen is next to the Kong Kong God King. They have a good relationship. It can be seen that Lu Shizhen, who has the heavenly artifact, is naturally very different. With the power of the heavenly god artifact, Lu Shizhen will definitely be able to crush Zhao Wuxian, so he is not easy to deal with. So there are 5 Crystal Beast Hearts. Zhang Zizai has never seen the other 3 people before. But it seems that these 3 people should be more difficult to deal with than the ones he has seen before. The first one is a pretty woman with long pink hair, very cute and playful, smart and bright. Although she is a top-level god king, she looks like a girl, young and beautiful, very moving. Her beauty is unparalleled in the entire ancient realm, and she is completely different from Shui Yulian Huangzi and others. Such a cute and charming woman is still very rare, but Zhang Zizai has heard of her. In fact, she is a terrible poison. She comes from the living god realm and her name is the flower thorn god King Lu Yiyi. She is the 3rd person in this ancient realm to obtain a heavenly artifact, second only to Zhang Zizai and Zhang Junjian. The heavenly artifact she obtained is called Death Realm Dark Flower, which is said to be the flower of death, a highly poisonous flower. Wherever the Death Realm Dark Flower goes, there is only death. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content later. The second one is the 10,000 Swords God King from the Heavenly Sword Divine Realm, named Xuanhuan. He is a cold young man who possesses the heavenly god artifact 10,000 Swords of Heaven. His heavenly god artifact is inherited from his ancestors, not obtained in the ancient realm. He did not gain much in the ancient realm, but in fact, before entering the ancient realm, he should have been rank second, or even the first, but after entering the ancient realm, many people came from behind, such as Zhang Zizai. The third one seemed to give Zhang Zizai a headache. This one has been paying attention to Zhang Zizai, and Zhang Zizai has also been paying attention to him. This person is a little short, wearing a wide robe, with only half of his face exposed outside. Zhang Zizai saw that he had a heavenly god soul, just like himself. Before coming to the ancient realm, his reputation was average, much worse than Xuanhuan, but during this period of time, he has become famous. He came from the Life and Death Soul clan of the most mysterious soul realm among the 49 divine realms. The elders of the clan gave him the title of Life and Death God King. Their totem is a terrifying existence called Life and Death Soul Beast. Life and Death Soul Beast feeds on the soul and cultivates the soul. This person is called Mufan. He is the second person in the ancient realm to obtain the source of evolution of the gods and possess the totem of the gods. His totem of the gods is called 10,000 Hells. It is said to be a very terrifying source of evolution of the domain in the 10,000 Hells. He is the master of death. However, just 2 months ago, his name appeared again in the golden color text. He obtained the heavenly artifact Soul Devouring Sword. He is the only one who has the totem of the gods and the artifact of the gods in one. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1310. Zhang Zizai, Kong Kong God King Kong Hai, Jing Jing God King Lu Shizhen, Huanmeng God King Yi Meng, Wanjian God King Xuanhuan, Huasi God King Lu Yi, Life and Death God King Mufan, plus Tianlong God King Zhang Junjian, who was not present. A total of 8 people got the crystal beast heart, and they can all be killed, but so far, except for Zhang Junjian, the 7 of them have enough strength to keep the crystal beast heart, and anyone who wants to do something to them needs countless struggles and weighing. Among them, Zhang Zizai is undoubtedly a human delicacy, but when people saw him crush and kill the 3 peak gods, Wulushan Wuking, most people completely gave up the idea, and only had awe in their hearts, and a small number of people were still struggling, waiting for the opportunity to come. After all, there is still half of the 49 sacrifices, and no one knows what will happen in this half of time, and no one can predict it. At this point, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Zhang Zizai can see these people, including the heavenly dragon god King Zhang Junjian. They either have a heavenly god totem or a heavenly god artifact, and all have heavenly god level support. Their strength is much stronger than that of ordinary 9th level god kings, and they are considered to have surpassed the realm of god kings. After all, Zhang Zizai is only at the 5th level. When his opponents have treasures of the heavenly god level, he will definitely have a hard time fighting, because the opponent's heavenly god treasures may pose a threat to his defense. Especially the life and death god King Mufan, who has a heavenly god soul, heavenly god artifact, and a heavenly god totem that Zhang Zizai does not have. Even if he is not as good as Zhang Zizai in terms of heavenly god artifact, he has a heavenly god totem and the 9th level realm of God King. In fact, he is now the recognized strongest. He also rose in the ancient realm, and successively obtained the totem of the gods and the artifacts of the gods. Before entering the ancient realm, his reputation was far less than that of the god King Kong Kong, the god King Jing Jing and Xuanhuan. It should be that the soul of the gods gave him great convenience. This guy also regarded Zhang Zizai as a difficult opponent. While Zhang Zizai's soul of the gods was observing him, his soul of the gods must also be observing Zhang Zizai. For Zhang Zizai, this person was like an airtight wall, which was difficult to see through. He was the only one among so many gods that Zhang Zizai could not see through. During the 49 sacrifices, there were indeed many talented people. Zhang Zizai thought that there was no one who could fight against him in the ancient realm. Unexpectedly, when he came under this green sun, he found that there were still several powerful competitors. So far, it is still uncertain who will win. While Zhang Zizai has good fortune, others also have good fortune. Not only he has a breakthrough, but everyone has a breakthrough. For example, at this moment, when the blue sun changed, no one could figure out what would happen next. Everyone watched intently. Then the next moment, the change occurred. The huge blue sun suddenly extended a blue pillar of fire, which fell from the sky and fell towards the center of Sky Island. The speed was not fast. Some people were under this huge blue pillar of fire. When the pillar of fire was still in the air, people found that the blue pillar of fire was actually hollow, like a flame straw extending from the blue sun. Not long after, when the flame straw reached the sky above Sky Island, it was still 100 feet away from Sky Island, and suddenly stopped, silently. The next moment, the other part of the flame straw seemed to be inhaled by someone. At this moment, everyone felt a terrifying suction force acting on themselves, a force that was completely irresistible. The strange thing is that everyone needs to resist this storm of suction, which comes from the hollow fire column, but in fact, the flowers, plants, and trees on the Sky Island are almost motionless, as if they are completely unaffected. Only the gods from the 49 divine domains are still struggling in this storm. In fact, some people gave up directly, because there seemed to be nothing to struggle with, which obviously meant that the Qingyang Taigu god was going to bring everyone into the interior of the Blue Sunday. When the first person entered from the inside of the flame straw, most people stopped struggling, because struggling was useless. Zhang Zizai also resisted a little, and found that it was useless, so he followed the Supreme Dragon clan and was sucked into the sky by the straw extended from the blue sun. After entering this hollow fire column, there were burning blue flames all around, and the blue flames were still very burning. Many gods were very tormented and complained bitterly. They call it the sun blue fire in terms of scorching heat and burning intensity. It is the most terrifying of all the divine fires that Zhang Zizai has seen. It can be said that even the gods dare not approach it casually. Going up in this column of fire, when you raise your head, you can see a light spot at the end above. That light spot is obviously where everyone is going. Looking down, the crowd inside the column of fire is densely packed. Under the coverage of the soul of the gods, it is obvious that everyone on Sky Island has been brought in. I just don't know where the Dragon God King is. He has a crystal beast heart. At such an important moment, he didn't come to Sky Island. He definitely has a chance to get the first place in the 49th festival, but if he doesn't show up, it's a waste of opportunity. Of course, is it possible that he is already in the crowd, but I can't feel his presence. The heavenly soul is not omnipotent. For example, Zhang Zizai has now lost the position of the god of life and death Mu Fan. If he hides himself a little, it will be difficult for Mu Fan to find him. If Zhang Junjian also has a heavenly soul, it can be explained, but Zhang Zizai knows that he should not have a heavenly soul. While he was still thinking, he had already reached this light spot. When he rushed into the light spot above his head, the light shone in an instant, and the world was bright. Then in the next moment, everything returned to calm. He appeared in another place. This was a black wilderness. Under his feet were black sand and rocks. Because they had been burned for countless years, each one was extremely hard, comparable to a sword edge. Looking up, the whole sky was filled with cyan flames, covering the entire world in a hemisphere. It was obvious that this was the inner world of the Cyan Sunday. The Cyan Sun looked big, but I didn't expect the inner world to be so huge. Zhang Zizai looked forward and couldn't see where the end of this world was. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1311. And this world looks very strange. It is not a flat world, but a very twisted and folded one. Some mountains touch the sky, and some abysses are also the sky. If the normal world is a flat white paper, then the world in front of us is like a white paper that has been kneaded. There are tens of millions of planes, and each plane is like a complete land, but the land and the land may be vertical, or even balanced, and most of them are at an angle. When this kneaded white paper becomes infinitely huge, it becomes a complicated world. Anyway, Zhang Ziyai stood on one of the tens of millions of planes of this white paper, looking around, basically with a face of confusion. The crowd was not dispersed, everyone was here, and the thousands of people on Sky Island had all arrived, and then it seemed that the light spot channel under their feet had been closed, and those who missed it should not be able to enter the inner space of the Blue Sun again. Where is this? The world in the Blue Sunday. Nonsense, what I mean is, why is it so strange? The key is, where are we going? Are we going to find something? The Qingyang ancient god is still the same as before, with no reminders at all. No one knows the rules of the game. Exploring the rules of the game is the key to success, so this is the difficulty. On the contrary, if the rules of the game are announced, everything will be boring. After experiencing Zilongjiyuan, Zhang Zizai actually knew that all the settings of the Qingyang ancient god had his reasons. Since he came here, the most urgent thing is to find out the rules of the game, which may be to reach a place, or to collect something on the way. Zhang Zizai, it's too dangerous here. Many people are eyeing you. You come with us, and we can take care of each other together, so that once you are met by others, they may gang up on you at the beginning, the Holy Luan God King of the Shenlong Tianzu reminded. Yes, especially the Chaos Demon clan. 3 of their God Kings died. They are eyeing you covetously. If you accidentally run into them, it will definitely be troublesome. Others followed suit. Although they did not trust Zhang Zizai very much, they could not let others get away with the treasures on him. In fact, they are already keeping an eye on him. They will probably follow him wherever he goes and look for opportunities. The spiritual immortal God King glanced over there and said calmly. Zhang Zizai also took a look. He knew that the people of the Chaos Demon clan were even more unwilling to give up after the death of the 3 supreme God Kings. They were betting that Zhang Zizai would ask to be left alone. If so, as long as they could follow secretly, there would be a good chance for so many people to deal with one person. Zhang Zizai looked for the location of the 9 Immortals. She and the 5 people from the Chaos Demon realm moved very quickly. After coming here, in order to avoid being found by the Supreme Dragon clan, they had set off directly and disappeared in front of everyone. They are still within the range of Zhang Zizai's heavenly soul. Zhang Zizai thought about it and decided not to follow them. After all, there must be a reason why she appeared in such an identity. Now that it has been made clear, if he just sticks to her, there will be some unexpected troubles, and may even harm her. With her ability, no one can kill her anyway, so there should be no problem thinking of this. He let her go. As for himself, he had no idea about this new world for the time being. He really wanted to listen to what others said, maybe it would inspire him. So, under the strong request of the Supreme Dragon clan's group of gods, Zhang Zizai nodded and temporarily went with them. In this way, the Holy Luan God King and others felt much more at ease. They, the Supreme Dragon clan, started to set off. Anyway, they didn't know which direction to go. All those who left chose a direction. At this time, except for the same clan, basically no one would choose to go with them. Everyone was eager to stay away from others, so that if they were lucky enough to get good fortune, they might still be able to enjoy it. But the Chaos Demon clan was indeed following from a distance. They were very good at tracking, and basically followed Zhang Zizai at the edge of the exploration range of the Heavenly Soul. They were able to keep up with him. They should have marked some of the Supreme Dragon Clan God Kings without being discovered. At least the Supreme Dragon Clan God Kings guessed that the Chaos Demon clan might follow, but it was just a guess and could not be confirmed. They moved forward in this strange world. Because the world was distorted, their vision was actually limited, and there were strange rocks everywhere, and all kinds of weird terrain, which greatly affected their judgment. Even if they kept moving forward, they might return to the original place. If they entered some dead ends, they might still stay where they were and could not get out. The Supreme Dragon Clan God Kings paid attention to Zhang Zizai. They were hinting at the cultivation of Zhang Zizai by the dragon sacrifice divine realm, hinting at the importance of Zhang Zizai by the heavenly gods, and guiding Zhang Zizai to repay their kindness. After all, they had heard their private conversations, and their purpose was very clear. Zhang Zizai, if you get the first place in the 49th sacrifice, will you wish for the immortal venerable to die? The demon slayer God King asked casually. Zhang Zizai smiled and said, "It's not that simple. You think I have a good chance, but you don't know how low my realm is. If we really fight, there will be many people who can suppress me. I mean, what if?" Zhang Zizai was a little annoyed by the endless chatter. He smiled coldly and said, "King Mu Dragon Lord allowed me to save Yan'er, but he certainly didn't expect that I would have this day. If it is really possible, I can only try my best to prioritize solving the major problems for the Supreme Dragon Clan. However, I really don't have much confidence in myself. These people will shut up if you say a few nice words." As for whether they believe it in their hearts, Zhang Zizai doesn't bother to care. Anyway, he doesn't believe it. How could he give up the opportunity to save Yan'er? And if he wishes to kill the Immortal Lord, then Yan'er will be dead. Light Dragon Lord treated you well, but died tragically at the hands of the Immortal Lord. Without Light Dragon Lord, you wouldn't be here today, and it would be even more impossible for you to get the 9-Dragon Chaos God Bell in the Zilong Academy. So, people really can't forget their roots. Zhang Zizai has done a good job, and we all believe in you, Lingxian God King said with a smile. The tone of her speech was somewhat similar to that of the Immortal Dragon Emperor. The Immortal Dragon Emperor fooled himself in this way. Zhang Zizai was too lazy to pay attention to them. His attention was mainly on the world in front of him, and he was also listening to other people's discussions and insights about this world. After synthesizing them, Zhang Zizai also believed that only after special changes occurred would there be a chance to guess the rules of the game. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1312. It is impossible for them to go on in this folded and twisted world forever. There will definitely be special changes that will guide the competition in the direction set by the Qingyang ancient god. At this moment, golden text appeared under his feet. The golden text was very short, and it said, "First, King Mufan, the god of life and death, third." In the front is number 1, in the middle is Mufan's name, and at the end is the number 3. It means he got 3 of something, and now he is the number 1 existence. And the fact that other people's names are not on it means that no one else got this kind of thing. Soon they analyzed the reason, and Zhang Zizai's guess was pretty much the same. The speed is so fast, what exactly is this 3? This is the crux of the problem. Qingyang ancient god did not reveal it, and the person who first discovered the rules of the game must have taken the lead. He may be able to collect like crazy next, but everyone has already searched all around. It's over, there's really nothing. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Be careful, at this moment, Zhang Zizai's face suddenly changed. His heavenly soul was the first to feel that there was a large ball of sun-green fire falling from the sky. It looks like a big ball now, but when it hits the ground, it might be a sea of fire. The result was exactly as Zhang Zizai expected. In an instant, the sun's blue fireball descended on the top of his head. When it reached the top of his head, it seemed to cover a quarter of the sky. The terrifying burning had already arrived. In front of everyone. Spread. This is a dangerous place in this world. I didn't expect that the green fire of the sun burning in the sky would fall. At this critical moment, everyone could only choose to flee. More than 80 people from the Supreme Dragon clan finally gathered together, and the green fire of the sun fell. The landing place was among the people. In the light of the carbide fire, people naturally looked for the best direction to escape. For a moment, everyone scattered like birds and beasts. Zhang Zizai also randomly chose a direction and rushed out. Not long after he left, the green sun fire hit the ground, setting off a raging sea of fire in an instant. The sky collapsed and the earth was shattered. Large areas of land were smashed into pieces and became even more distorted. The place where they were standing had already been turned into powder. Zhang Zizai looked back, feeling as if the world had been destroyed. It turned out that the world was so distorted because of the falling green fire of the sun. Now that the fire was still spreading, he had to leave quickly. Under this devastating impact, the entire Supreme Dragon clan team was completely knocked away. There were only a dozen people within the range of Zhang Zizai's heavenly soul, and it was even possible that some people were unable to escape and were directly engulfed by the green fire of the sun and burned to charcoal. Regarding this sudden disaster, Zhang Zizai thought about it and decided to help them. After all, he had the advantage of the heavenly soul, so he directly found the disgraced god King Xuanhuan nearby. It's not a good thing if the team is separated, because the other teams are likely to be intact. If they are alone and are encountered, as a competitor, they may be killed secretly. The King of Glory god frowned. I'll take you to find someone else first. Now, under the impact of the devastating sun-green fire, the Supreme Dragon clan is in chaos. The range affected is at least 10 times the detection range of Zhang Zizai's heavenly soul. Therefore, it is not easy to find everyone. There are only about a dozen people within the scope of Xuanhuan. OK, God King Xuanhuan was very anxious, knowing that this sun-green fire was equivalent to a heavy blow to the Supreme Dragon clan. Fortunately, Zhang Zizai was very fast and locked onto the others one by one. After the other party heard the noise, they quickly gathered together. After about a quarter of an hour, he had gathered all the dozen or so people around him. And after moving his location, he discovered other Supreme Dragon God Kings. In fact, they were all near this place of destruction, and they were also looking for each other's companions. Zhang Zizai continued to search in a circle like this, and he would be able to find at least 80% of the people, as long as they didn't wander around. At this time, the Lingxian God King of the Xianlong Celestial clan had been found. Her face was slightly pale and she said, "I just saw that there may be a few people who couldn't dodge and were burned to death. It's really scary. My condolences. We are in the ancient realm after all. The most urgent task is to find other people as soon as possible to avoid losses." God King Xuanhuan and several other God Kings said. "Not good," Zhang Zizai suddenly said. "What?" everyone asked nervously. "The Hundong Demon clan has come over, and the Demonic Dragon Celestial clan's Breaking God King has met them. Now they are besieging them." When he said this, Zhang Zizai waved his hands helplessly and said, "They are quite ruthless, besieged him directly and killed him." Breaking the God King, there were several God Kings from the Demonic Dragon Celestial clan here. After hearing these words, their eyes turned red. "What do they mean?" Lingxian God King frowned. "I'm very excited. I've seen that we were scattered by the sun-green fire. Now I'm looking for those who are alone. I claim to kill them on sight. There's no mercy at all, Zhang Zizai sneered. To be honest, it's hard for him to fall in love deeply now. The Supreme Dragon Clan, but he couldn't do it to see them being killed like this. Now the Hundong Demon Clan is taking advantage of the situation and adding insult to injury. The Dark Demon of the Chaos Demon realm turned out to be the younger brother of the Chaos Demon Emperor. Now they are obviously targeting us. How shameless! In addition, you killed 3 of their god kings. Now we are in trouble. These people deserve to die. They actually took advantage of the fire to rob. Many god kings panicked. After all, they were in a very troublesome situation. They had Zhang Zizai to grasp the location of the Chaos Demon Clan, so they could avoid being killed, but others might be found by them. There were more than 90 people in their Chaos Demon Clan. It was easy to kill them one by one. Zhang Zizai also knew that for this group of vicious people, at least a large number of Supreme Dragon Clan God Kings would die in their hands if this continued. After all, they were all of the same clan and had the blood of the dragon. Zhang Zizai really couldn't sit idly by. He thought for a while and said, "I'll go find them." "What do you mean?" Guanzhou God King asked nervously. "Tell them to stop," Zhang Zizai said. "Are you going to die?" Someone couldn't help but say. "So what if it is? If you are a coward, you don't have to follow." Zhang Zizai smiled, not wanting to pay attention to him, and went straight to the Hundong Demon Clan. They were struggling, and the God King Guanzhou advised them, but Zhang Zizai ignored him and left directly.